Hi everyone, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' demonstrator in Australia. Welcome to my Reindeer Fun class run through. So I am doing things a little bit differently for those who have purchased or earned my previous classes. I'm just going to run through every card and the products that I used and any techniques that I used to complete the card. So I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, please ask and I will be happy to help you out. So these are the 3 cards that I have made for the class. So, and then I will go through those in a little bit more detail soon. So the whole class is, and if I can get this bow back on the magnet, that would be great. The whole class is based around the Reindeer Fun bundle, which is a stamp set and the dies. It's a huge die set. You can do so much with it. I have done more than just these 3 cards with that. So while you're over here on YouTube, look up Reindeer Fun on my channel and or even on my blog, and you will be able to see more cards. There's so much more I want to do with this, but it all comes down to time, and time is my enemy. always. So I'm going to leave these here because I don't quite use them on every card, but for the first card we are. So this is the first card. So I have used some of the very specialty dies for this card. I have cut my window of the Granny Apple Green cardstock here with this die to create the window. Now you can choose to have your window with the greenery coming down, or you can flip it around and have the greenery coming up. So what I also used for the background of this card, I have used the Coordinating Reindeer Days Designer Series paper. So I have pretty much used this Designer Series paper on every card, and if you go to the supplies list, you will be able to have a look at the close-up pictures of all of this Designer Series paper. So I made sure to use the trees because this reindeer's just poking his little head up through the trees. Now to make the reindeer, I used these 3 dies and they layer together really well. The 3 colors I have used are Early Espresso, Pecan Pie, and crumb cake. So they went really well together, but you can use endless combinations with our with our neutrals, and also with basic beige. It would work really well. I've used Real Red for the card base and the cute little bow, which is this die here. Our embellishments, which are the teeny tiny pearls, they come from our festive pearl pack. So you get red, very light green, silver and gold. So they are our festive pearls. I have stamped the sentiment from the set. Love the sentiments in this set with Early Espresso ink. I have done a little bit of a technique on our Granny Apple Green piece. I have grabbed my blending brush and blended the outside just to soften the edges. So hopefully that comes across. And basically that finished our first card. So I hope you like that. I'm just going to pop that to the side. Now for our second card, I didn't use any of the Reindeer Fun dies. I definitely did use the Reindeer Fun stamp set, the Spotlight on Nature dies, and the Labeled with Love punch. I use this punch all the time for sentiments. It seems to fit so much in there. Okay, so this is the card with the doe and I think it's a calf deer. So I stamped those using our Memento ink because I did colour them using Stampin' blends, but before I did that I did use, I'm pretty sure it's this die right here, the largest of the dash and dot dies, and cut that image out. So you can either cut it out first and then stamp in the middle, or stamp and then cut using our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I did use, once again, the Reindeer Days Designer Series paper for our bells at the bottom, and to add the shine at the top I pulled in our Season of Elegance Designer Series paper. So the green pattern in here, it has Mossy Meadow and Old Olive, which I thought was just the perfect grounding background, kind of represent grass and woods and stuff like that. I thought that was a representation. Whether you see that or not, that is okay. So the colours that I used in Stampin' Blends, I used, now these are Naturals Stampin' Blends, kind of, there are numbers in them, but there's also deep, medium, deep, light, I think, in our colours, and I shall show you. Hold on, I'll be able to show you. I've got a bit of a cheat sheet here. So the SU600, because they came out in numbers first, it is from our medium set, and the SU700 is from our medium light set. So I used two sets to colour in our deers, and they blended together beautifully. And as a finishing touch, I took the bow and just tied it around the doe's neck, which I think is lovely. Stamped the sentiment in Old Olive, punched it out using the Labelled with Love punch, and then I just added a little bit of embellishment. I bought some gold from in the Designer Series paper just to the bottom third of the card, and if you want any of these measurements, they will be in the project sheet. So these are our metallic gems. So they come in silver, gold and copper. You can see I've loved using them here, and I just use them to bookend that label. Okay, I think that's everything I did. Oh, the other thing I did, sorry, I used a little bit of Smoky Slate blend and our colour lifter just to put a bit of ground under them so they're not floating on the circle. It looks like they're actually standing on the ground, casting a little bit of a shadow. Okay, our last card, I didn't actually use any dies at all, but I did use a lot of Designer Series paper. So I've kind of done a couple of versions of this card, just the sentiment is different colours on both. So I bought in strips of the Reindeer Fun paper. So this is great technique that you can use when, like me, you are towards the end of your Designer Series paper. So I cut the 3 strips of different Designer Series paper. You can see both cards here. There's nothing shiny to share with you. So I cut them at different thicknesses. This one has the cardinals in it, and this one doesn't. Both look fantastic. I've used Real Red and Old Olive, and I've stamped in 2 different sentiment colours. So I'd love you to tell me which one you prefer. This one is Early Espresso, and this one is Pecan Pie. Okay, and the pecan pie embellishments that I added, these are the swirl dots. So they come in the pecan, petal pink, and white, and they just have a really nice swirl texture on them. I just thought 2 of those finish the card beautifully on the real red background with a basic white card base. I need to go back to something off our 3rd card here because I did also use some of the diagonal stripe ribbon. This comes in white and petal pink. So that just bridged the gap nicely there. So with this one, I bridged the gap by adding dimensionals. So it just gives the center reindeer section a little bit of height. So hopefully that explains the cards that I made for the Reindeer Fun class. I do have all the supplies listed on the project sheet with measurements. This one will be a little hard to give you exact measurements just because I've used different size strips. And I will have a supply list as well that will take you to my online store so you can have a look at the pictures of everything I have used if those products are available. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the other cards that are included in my bumper Christmas class, and I look forward to seeing you in 2025 with even more classes. Thanks.